Hey guys, it's Kathleen with Richie Britches, and I am back with another What Sold video. If you're new to my channel, I'm a part-time reseller, full-time school counselor, and I share an eBay store with my sister Karen, who's also a full-time educator and a part-time reseller. So if you like thrifting content, definitely hit the thumbs up, subscribe, do all the things that help us out so much. This What Sold video is for the period of December 15th through the 31st, and I'm going to start off with my eBay sales. So the first item that sold is this vintage 7 Winds cologne, and I've actually had this a really long time, picked it up, and didn't think that I could list it on eBay because it was already open, so I just kind of hung on to it, and to be honest with you, I liked the way it smelled. However, I soon discovered that vintage perfumes can be opened and listed on eBay, and that's what I did. I paid only $1 for this at an estate sale, and it sold for $20. Next is this lot of 12 Harlequin love-inspired novels. You might remember me picking them up in a Thrift With Me video back in the spring, and I got an entire box of all romance books that were all Harlequin. Most of them were love-inspired, which I think is like the Christian version of Harlequin romance books. And so I paid only $5 for this huge box, and I lotted them up into about 5 or 6 different lots. So I figure all said and done, I'm probably about $1 into this lot, and they sold for $9. I had them listed a little bit higher, but I took an offer because I've got a lot of books that I need to move. Next is a lesson to me. This is a vintage Nerf ping pong tabletop game that I picked up in the very, very beginning when I first started reselling back when we were still in quarantine. And so if you look closely at the listing, you see that it was only after it was purchased that I realized that it was listed as a Neef ping pong game instead of a Nerf. So always gotta check behind myself, especially when I'm listing at night after work and I get a little bleary-eyed, although this was during quarantine, so that wasn't an excuse. In any event, I did pick this up at a yard sale way back when for only $1, and it sold for its full price, which was $13.99. I grabbed this Life is Good t-shirt. I want to say this was a medium-sized t-shirt, and we got it at Goodwill, but it was on half price day. So we only paid $2.99 for it, and it sold for $13. I have another one that looks exactly like it, except it has a mountain scene instead of fireflies in a jar. So I'm hoping that sells too. I'm not even going to go into my rant about paying Goodwill prices. Moving on. I grabbed this vintage Webkinz Husky. At a yard sale, I only paid 50 cents for it, and this was an awesome score and a bolo. If you can find Webkinz that have not had their little packet with all of their online information opened, they sell really well. I listed this because there were several others that were listed. I went a little bit under to undercut everybody, and it sold within just a couple of days of having listed for $18. Grabbed this vintage Tyco Sesame Street purple honker character. Found this at a yard sale. I think I paid 50 cents. I might have only paid $0.25 for it. Doesn't really matter. He's been listed a long while, but he still had his tag, so I figured it was worth picking up. And he did eventually sell on an offer of $9. Next is this Matilda Jane dress. It is called Hold the Key is the name of the dress, and it is in a really pretty teal color in a size medium. I grabbed this a couple of months ago at a yard sale where there was a lady who sold Matilda Jane kind of as her side hustle, and so she was unloading all of her stuff, and I picked this up for $5. I think I'm throttling back a little bit on adult Matilda Jane unless I can find it new with tags, because this one has been listed several months, has gotten a lot of attention, but didn't really move, was still hanging around, and I have several other pieces that I picked up at the same sale that haven't gone anywhere. And like I said, I paid $5 for it, and it sold for $28. This Dooney & Bourke cream belt was an excellent pickup. It is vintage. I grabbed it at an estate sale for $1. It may have even been less than $1 because I threw it in a bag and made them an offer for the bag. I think I paid like $10 for the whole bag, and it included way more than 10 items. but I will be conservative and estimate the cost of goods to be $1. It was in excellent condition. It had one little spot on the belt, but I just took some of the Clark's leather cleaner and just rubbed it on. It came right out and it was perfect. So I only paid $1 for this, and it sold for $14. Next is this Yealink Verizon phone that was new in the box. I only picked this up about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, at a yard sale, and I was super stoked to have picked it up. I only paid $5 for it, and comps were going right around $80, and it wasn't until after I filmed my Thrift With Me video that I realized there was an important piece missing out of the box, and that was the receiver, and you kind of need a receiver if you're going to sell a phone. I still listed it because I had it, so I might as well. It was still brand new, and I am happy to say I took an offer of $25 on it, so at least I still made money. I mean, that's not the worst sale that I've ever had, for sure, and it was quick. Okay, I sold this Anthro Fig and Flower dress. This is my first time selling this brand. I have seen Shell Bell talking about it a lot on her channel, and so I gave it a stab. This is in a size large. I grabbed this at Goodwill and I paid $6.99 for it, but it sold for $30, and it sold really, really fast. I want to say it was either overnight or within 48 hours. I have another Fig and Flower piece also that I picked up at Goodwill, and that's also in a size large, but it's a tunic, so I'm waiting to see if that goes as fast. I just got that listed the other day. These L'Artiste, and I'm not even sure if I'm saying that correctly, shoes are kind of like booties, and they're really, really pretty. They're in the soft leather, and it's like kind of different color striped pattern on the leather. They have a little bit of a heel to them. They are in a size 38, which is about an 8. I grabbed these at Goodwill for $5.99, and they sold for $48. That was my full asking price. So they've been listed a hot minute, probably going on between 3 and 4 months. But they still sold, and they still sold full price. I mean, you gotta love that. Okay, grabbed this Guitar Hero 3 for the Wii at a yard sale, and I paid $1 for it and sold it for $12. That was also on offer. I think I had it listed around $14 or $15, but just happy to move that out. I'm still piecing out of the video game sale business because I'm just no good at it, to be honest with you. Okay, grabbed this Cobblestone silk tunic that was new with tags at a yard sale for $2. It is 100% silk, and that is the reason I picked it up. That and style. I mean, it's really, really pretty. It has kind of like this underneath tank thing working, and then a sheer overlay on top of it. Super pretty in this very, very soft sage green color. Not familiar with the brand. I looked up comps, and they were kind of all over the place. I listed it kind of in the mid-range, and it sold on an offer of $28. Grabbed these Hot Wheels Ballistics cars. You might remember from my last What Sold video, I sold one of them, and then I had these 3, this lot of 3. I paid probably 10 cents each, made most 50 cents for all 3 of them at a yard sale, and they sold for $15. Next is this Lands' End extra large linen button-down shirt, or button-up shirt, I guess is the right term. It is in a size extra large, and it is also new with tags. We grabbed this at an estate sale for only $3, and it sold for $14, and this has been listed at least 6 months, so this one kind of hung around a while. These Ugg Gray Boots are the short version of Uggs. Super, super cute in a size 6. They are from Karen's own closet, and so we didn't have any cost of goods whatsoever, and they sold for $30. This Victoria's Secret yellow bikini top is in a size small, and I picked this up at an estate sale way back when. I want to say it was like the fall of 2020, and it was brand new with tags. Really, really cute, pretty yellow color, and got a ton of attention, but never sold. And I was so surprised that it didn't sell during bathing suit season, but it did now. Paid only $1 for this at an estate sale, and it sold for $12. Karen picked up these Emile Henry by Williams Sonoma bowls, and so it's apparently a set of 3 bowls, but I only had the 2 of them. And comps were, again, kind of all over the place. These had a few little scratches in the interior of the bigger bowl, but I figured it was worth a shot, even though it was going to be super expensive to ship for the buyer. So I always feel like that turns off the buyers. Listed them kind of middle of the road where everybody else had them listed, and they sold overnight for $32. I took an offer of $32. I want to say I had them listed for $38. So I love a quick flip like that. I was really happy to get them out because they take up so much space. Next is this Abercrombie and Fitch perfume, and my friends, this is a huge bolo. I had never heard of this before. Karen grabbed this at a yard sale. She only paid $2 for it. It was brand new in the package, and we were looking at all of the comps, and they were high. Most of them were selling for right around $85. Now the difference between mine and the ones that were listed were that this one, even though it was new and in the package, the cellophane had torn, and so in theory it could have been used. So I priced it a little bit lower. I priced it at $80 and took an offer on it of $75. It sold within 48 hours. This Lululemon commission pants for men is in a size 36, really, really good condition. Grabbed this at Goodwill for $5.99, and these sold within 2 weeks of having listed them for $40. Karen had bought these Pottery Barn sheets for my nephew, washed them, put them on the bed once, and he pieced out of his bed, decided he wasn't going to sleep in that bed anymore. So this was a great find for somebody. They are little puppy dog sheets. They are in really, really good pre-owned condition. Again, zero cost of goods because it came from Karen's closet, and they sold within 48 hours of listing them for $22. So Pottery Barn Kids sheets is a definite bolo. If you find them out in the wild, I would absolutely snatch them up super quick. Okay, I grabbed this Lululemon orange tank top. It's actually called the Power Y tank, and it is in a size 8. I grabbed this at a church yard sale way back in the winter, probably January or February. It was an indoor yard sale. I paid only $1 for it, and it sold for $20. These Haan black suede boots we thought were a great pickup at Goodwill. We paid $5.99 for them, and they are in a size 6.5. Really, really pretty, have this nice stacked heel, excellent condition. And then we realized that the interior of the leather was all flaking off. So I figured, well, I'm still gonna list them, try to recoup some of our money. And I just noted it, included pictures, and they have been listed a hot minute, but they did eventually sell. They only sold for $10, but hey, at least we made our money back and then some. And I actually got a note from the buyer that she was super in love with the boots. This was one of the best purchases, and she would definitely buy from me again. So that's always nice when you get some positive, because I get that feeling in my stomach when I see that I have a message from a buyer and I recognize the name of the buyer. I'm like, oh God, what's gone wrong now? So it was good to get a compliment and to get some good news out of one of those messages for a change. Next is this pair of vintage Victoria's Secret purple floral pajamas. They are in a size small. Really good condition, super, super soft, and they are the gold label pajamas. We grabbed these at Goodwill for $5.99, and they sold for $20. This pair of Anthro Studio Flores mugs we found at a yard sale. They were only $0.25 per mug. We got 8 of them so $2 is all we paid for them. And this is the first pair to sell. They sold for my full asking price of $38. Again, we are literally 50 cents in for these mugs. And I have the other 6 lotted up. And as a matter of fact, the second set of 2 just sold today. So we've already sold and also sold for a full asking price. So you'll see that in my next What Sold video. And so this was a really, really great investment. Karen found these candies, these vintage candies, vanilla bonbon, and it is a bath gel and a lotion set. And she found them at a yard sale. She paid only $1 a piece for them. They sold within 48 hours of having listed for $36. And the last item that sold on eBay during this period was this North Face sunset t-shirt. It was in a size small. We picked this up at Goodwill for $2.99 and it sold for $12. Okay, moving on to Poshmark. This cabbie trench coat we picked up at Goodwill for only $5.99. It's in a size medium. Cabbie is just okay for us. It tends to get a lot of attention, but it doesn't have a really quick sell-through rate. However, this trench coat was only listed a month, so that's not bad. I was really glad about that because it's big. It takes up a lot of space in my inventory. Again, we paid $5.99 for it at Goodwill and it sold for 20 bucks. This Anthro Elodie Bruno pair of suede shoes is in a size 7.5. We have had these listed for forever, at least for 6 months. We also got them at Goodwill for $5.99 and I took an offer on them of $28. This Old Navy pink fleece hoodie is in a size medium. We picked it up at a yard sale for only 3 bucks. It is brand new with the tags and it sold within about 3 or 4 days of having listed it for 20 bucks. This North Face white puffer vest is in a size extra large and it is also from Karen's closet. So we have done pretty good on this what sold video out of Karen's closet. Anyway, we had zero cost of goods, obviously, and it sold for $42 within 48 hours of having listed it. The last item that sold on Poshmark during this period is this Tina Turk half zip paddle suit in a size extra large that was new with tags. And according to the tags, it sells for $175. Karen and I were in Goodwill right after Christmas and she happened to just see this on a rack. And so we just figured, we'll try it because we've sold Tina Turk before, but only one other time. But hey, new with tags and with a high value like that, you've got to give it a shot. So we paid $5.99 for it and it sold within 48 hours of having listed it for $75. Okay, I had one sale on Mercari during this period and it was for these Thai Attic Treasures bears, the Piccadilly bears. I paid only $2 for the pair of the bears and they sold for $28 within a few days of having been listed. I had a couple of sales on Etsy as well, which is really good because I don't have that much that I've cross-posted onto Etsy, pretty much just my vintage stuff. So the first is this Avon Skin So Soft bath oil decanter. It's a snail. It is totally filled to the max. And I grabbed this at that church yard sale where I got all of the goodie vintage brushes. So I'm probably about 50 cents into this and it sold for $22. I grabbed this vintage Revere copper bottom kettle a couple of weeks ago at a yard sale. I paid only $2 for it and it sold for my full asking price of $48. And then the last item to sell on Etsy is also kind of a wah-wah. It is this Panasonic micro cassette transmitter. I plugged it in, it worked, all the buttons worked, but what I didn't do was I didn't actually go out and get a micro cassette to test it out to see if it would actually transcribe. And so it did work in all of its other functions, but it didn't work for playing. And so I just told, the buyer was so kind and so reasonable about everything. And so I said, just keep it, throw it out, do whatever you need to do. I didn't want to waste having to pay shipping on top of that. So I had picked it up at an estate sale for $1 and it had sold for $38. But then that $38 was quickly returned to the buyer. So what are you gonna do? You win some, you lose some, right? So when I go over all of the numbers at the end of the video, I left that profit out. I kept in the cost of goods because that was still part of my cost of goods, but I took out the $38 profit since I returned it. Okay, and then I did have 2 items sell on Facebook Marketplace during this period. First was these 2 brand new, sealed in the package, Winnie the Pooh VHS cassettes. Got these at the estate sale, the same one where I got those 2 bears that just sold. I paid about 50 cents per tape, so I'm all in $1, and the pair sold for $14. And the last item is this vintage Bobby Lee Mickey Mouse camera strap. I grabbed this in Sarasota over Thanksgiving at that yard sale that was just fill a bag for $1. However, I think this one, she did charge me a full $1 for the strap, but that's fine, and it sold for $12. So at least, even though I got so many clunkers at that yard sale, so many things that I ended up just redonating, at least I have made my money back and then some profit from that yard sale, which psychologically, that is always a good thing for me. All right, guys, that is everything for this what sold video. In total, I sold 38 items during the period of December 15th through December 31st. I paid $97.40 for those items, making my average cost of goods $2.56. I sold them all for $962.99. If you calculate fees of 13%, that means I paid fees of $125.19, which leaves me with a total profit for that period of $740.40. So that was a really, really nice, fun, busy period. Love when that happens and I'm able to move out tons of inventory and make room for more stuff out of the old death pile. As always, if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, please subscribe to our channel, and remember guys, it's not cheap, it's thrifty. Bye guys.